In this video we're going to be taking a look at scales and modes again. After the last video looking at how to learn all your scales and modes in 3 shapes and how to do it on the guitar neck, some people were still a little confused as to how to do that. So I thought we'd take a look at actually looking at the sheets and how it works out, and sometimes it's easier to understand if you're seeing it being written out. So let's have a look at it being written out. So here we've got the F major scale plotted all over the entire neck. If you look here, you'll see that first shape which interlocks with the second shape, which I've coloured in so you can differentiate it from the two. And then you have, starting on the 10th fret, you have this last shape. So we've divided this into 3 shapes as opposed to the 7 shapes you could divide it into. Now if you look at these notes here on the 13th fret, which is the F on the 6th string, obviously F on the high A string, I've put them here as X's. So although we're not playing them as part of the shape, they are still there, and them notes are further up the neck, so I haven't really missed them out. So the idea is that you learn this shape, it interlocks with that shape, which interlocks with this shape. So you're covering the entire neck with F major. Now when it comes to the modes, in this case on the 3rd fret, which is G on that 6th string, if we were to use that as our root note, it would be G Dorian, which is the 2nd degree of F major. You can actually see the G minor chord there, which is part of that scale shape. You can see other chords, you can see the C, you could even see a C suspended 4. If we moved and started on the A, in this particular case, it would be A Phrygian, which is relative to F major. And again, you can see the A minor chord plotted out there. Lydian, if we started on the B flat there and used that as the root note, you can see the B flat chord there, and that would be B flat Lydian, which is the 4th degree of the F major. Again, the same, if we used the C as our root note, it would be C Mixolydian, which is the 5th degree of F major. Cool. This is our minor root note, or Aeolian. So on the 10th fret it's D, so it would be D minor, which is relative to the F major. And then we'll have the E on the 12th fret. If we use that as our root note, then that would be E Locrian. And there's F for Ionian or major scale, so it's in F major. So that shape, you're not moving it anywhere, it all stays there, and they are the modes within F major. Now the trick is that you really want to be able to learn the scale all over the neck, not just in one little part of it. So if you wanted to move this into, say, the key of G, so you want a G major, how would you use them scale shapes, or them 3 shapes, to do G major? Well, there's our G note. So I'm going to put that X there, like I've put them X's, so I'm copying that. So what I've got there is there, and this is the 3rd fret, which is G. So I've essentially moved up 2 frets. So this shape here is going to move up 2 frets. So I'm going to write this out as so there you see this shape is the same as that shape, and it's just moved up. So if I've moved that shape up 2 frets, I'm going to move this up and it interlocks. So go. So the shape, that shape is the same as that shape, and then this shape, that would move 2 frets up, so this would now be on the 12th fret. So I would have like so. So there, that's moved up. Because that's the 12th fret, we've got a big blank space here. So if you think this is the 12th fret, which is the same notes as open, so therefore a shape would appear here, which would be all them open notes. And then that shape would appear at the bottom of the guitar, which would be the same shape as that. So that's how you move it about, and you would do that for whatever. So for example, if you wanted to move it to be A major, you would, the A is on the 5th fret of E, so instead of starting on the 3rd, you'd start on the 5th, and everything would move up. So in a practical setting, say you wanted to do, I don't know, you've got the Do, say you wanted to do A Dorian. Now you know that this, you're thinking of this as your Dorian shape. So on the 3rd fret's in G minor Dorian. So if you look for the 5th fret, there you go, 5th fret, that would be your root note. So that would be A Dorian. There's your root note there. You've got that shape. Then you would have your interlocking. You would have that shape would replicate itself here. And then if you moved up that shape, there's a space, and then that shape would start. Let's do this quickly. So there. So each one of them, if you look at them properly, is the same 3 shapes moving up and down the neck for whatever it is that you want it to be able to do. So I hope that clarifies everything. And scales and modes is one of them things that are confusing when you first start learning it. So if you find that you get a bit bamboozled by it all, you don't feel like you loads of other people being there. It does take a few times for it to get to sink in, and it is sometimes you can't see the wood for the trees, and sometimes you can be making it more complicated than it actually needs to be.